I'm not a YouTuber. Like, I don't really make content, so I'm just kind of doing this for fun because, like, this is a topic that I feel like I'm a little bit passionate about. After the recent events that I've seen on Twitter, YouTube, and all that, I kind of just want to give people my perspective. I got notes on my left monitor, so if you see me look over here, it's because I tend to go on tangents and I don't want to just get sidetracked. And I'm just trying to keep this video cohesive. So yeah, as the title says, homophobia and suppressive creativity or creative expression in the Black community. Disclaimer: I'm a Canadian and I'm African. I can't say a lot for the African American experience, but I can say my experience. And it's my platform, so I guess that's all that matters, right? So let's get into it. Um, First things first, Black Boy Max Diva. Seen the clip at Shina University with OJ Suave. Um, First things first, bro. What's some bullshit, man? Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I'm gonna touch on all aspects a little bit later on, but for right now, I'm just gonna talk about the word diva itself. So let's Google the definition. All right, bro. Diva. A diva is a celebrated female performer, especially a singer in opera music or popular music. Okay. So someone who's, a musician, who's a female. Yeah, that's basically the definition, right? All right, let's go to Prince, right? Prince. World renowned artist, right? R.I.P. to Prince, died in 2016. But we see that this guy he's popular. You feel what I'm saying? You got shit that's very, very popular. Let's see his music right quick. Let's see his influence. Let's see his influence on the world, I guess. Like, he has music that has way over 500 million streams already. You feel me? With these two songs, just on Spotify alone. This guy has influence. He's a popular guy. I'm pretty sure he was competing with Michael Jackson back in the day, right? Let's look at Prince's logo right quick. Right here. This is Black Boy Max's current profile picture on, I think, all social medias. So let's take a look and see what this symbol even means. So let's read this. He still may be funky, but his name is not Prince anymore. The Chanhassen-based singer celebrated his 35th birthday Monday by changing his name and announcing that he's breaking from his band, New Power Generation. From now on, the former Prince wants to be referred to as a combination symbol for male and female. The symbol that serves as the title for his latest album. Okay, cool. This is very interesting right here, right? This symbol right here is Prince's make on, I guess, a male and female symbol, right? I'm not sure how the media was taking this at the time. This was published in 1993. So, but we all know that Prince is a very well-received artist. He's very popular, and clearly he has a lot of influence, right? Funny enough, Black Boy Max just so happens to be influenced by Prince, right? So, but he has his own brand, of course. He's his own person. Creative expression. Let's go back to diva. You feel what I'm saying? A diva is a celebrated female performer, especially in a singer or an opera or popular music. Max says, when you're a diva, you're poppy and shit. He created his own definition of the word, right? But you see where the word originates from? A celebrated female performer. Max is a singer. He makes music, or he's a rapper. He makes music. He's an artist. He's changing the definition of the word, right? And this is what people do all the time. We're in 2026, bro. Like, people create trends. People who have influence, like, they dictate how trends go, right? Max is influential. So for those who don't agree, I mean, shit. Like, you see his influence. You see where he at, right? He has people who rally behind him, right? If he wants to take a swing and create his own wave, and if he wants to create his own swag from the word diva, that's cool. I respect it. Again, all I see it as is a black man who's trying to be creative and creating his own swag. You feel what I'm saying? He's not even deviating too far away from the actual meaning of the word, right? Like, think about it. Think about the way trends are created, and think about the N word, for example. I'm not even trying to compare diva and the N word, but I'm just going to use it as an example so people can see the way words can change its definition, right? I'm just trying to give you guys an analogy, right? So the N word obviously started off as a word that was a bigoted word for Black Americans. Eventually they've twisted the word and made it their own, right? But again, that's a trend. That's something that someone cultivated. Someone initiated that. I'm sure the first person to call themselves and refer to themselves as a nigga wasn't positively received by his peers, right? But as time goes on, like, things change. A trend is created, right? So people may not like Max using diva and view it as like homosexuality or something, but all I see it is he's taking a word that has a certain definition, he's changing the definition, and it's creating his own swag, creative expression, right? Next topic: Christianity slop in the Black community from an African Christian lens. Okay, boom. First things first, I'm going to talk about the homophobia tirade from Black parents. My mom and my dad are from Ghana. I'm Black. You can see I got dreads, I got hair, I got earrings. I can guarantee you there's a kid watching this, a Black kid watching this right now, who has been accused of being gay from something that they wore, something that they've done, the way that they express themselves. Their parents may have seen that as, oh, is my kid gay? But you're not, though, right? And I know you're watching this, you're like, what does this have to do with anything? The homophobia in the Black community has been plaguing our community for I don't know how long, right? Even to the point where the homophobia is even extending into creativity. People try to be creative and do things on their own accord, and then their parents or their peers or people around them just might look at that and be like, what are they doing? That's not normal. Men don't do that. Women don't do that. That's gay. You get what I'm saying? So it's always been something that's just been around in the Black community for a long time. I don't know where it originates from, but it's important that I talk about this because people try to root it in Christianity, right? And I'm about to break that down right now. A lot of that root comes from the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So let's dive deep into the story of Sodom and Gomorrah and see what exactly the exact reason why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by God. Sodom and Gomorrah. We're gonna go through a couple of websites and see what the general consensus is. Sodom and Gomorrah are ancient biblical cities said to have been destroyed by God with sulfur and fire due to their wickedness. Okay, located in the Jordan Valley, they are famously used in Scripture as a symbol of divine judgment and the ultimate consequences of unrepentant sin. Cool. Okay, let's go into Wikipedia. Let's dive in a little bit more. In the Abrahamic religion, Sodom and Gomorrah were two cities destroyed by God for the wickedness. Okay. Story parallels the Genesis flood narrative in its theme of God's anger provoked by man's sin. So it's an Abrahamic story found in the Quran, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Hebrew Bible. Okay, so the Islam, Jews, and Christians, they all know about this story, right? It's all depicted in their religious texts. Biblical and deuterocanonical. Yo, that's a crazy ass word. Deuterocanonical texts expand on the story, portraying Sodom and Gomorrah as symbols of sin, often linked to adultery, okay, so cheating, arrogance, inhospitality, and oppression of the poor, rather than explicitly sexual immorality. Okay. You see, a lot of people, including my parents, use the story of Sodom and Gomorrah and try to paint that God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah mainly because they were gay. Right, let's debunk this. Was Sodom's primary sin rape or lack of hospitality? One should notice once a connection with okay, right here. Okay, one should notice at a connection with the horror / shame value system mentioned in the previous section, suggesting that Genesis 19:1-11 might be working with the concept that same-sex intercourse was a tool of the state for political violence. That is a very, very important part of the text right here. Genesis 19:1-11 might be working with the concept that same-sex intercourse was a tool of the state for political violence. Okay. Cleaner. Now we will violate you. To which the men attempt to break down Lot's door. Simply put, the Sodomites were not promiscuous men looking for intercourse. They sought to violently assault Lot and rape his guests. Okay. Now we're starting to understand the sexual immorality of Sodom and Gomorrah. What's going on, y'all? I was just editing this video and I just realized I didn't touch on this part of the article, and I feel like this is very important because this is kind of like wrapping the entire argument together. So let me just touch on this, read it real quick, and then we can wrap up and get back to the video. In this article, I argue that the view of Sodom and Gomorrah's story held by the Christian right as well as conservative biblical scholars overlook the presence and role of women in this entire narrative about the cities, beginning in Genesis 13. As this presence and role are acknowledged, I further assert that it is more logical to assume that the sexual orientation of the men and women of Sodom and Gomorrah is heterosexual rather than homosexual. In arguing this, I wish to undercut the dangerous understanding that the sin of Sodom is homosexuality, in need of annihilation in our society. No. Instead, I assert that the wickedness of these cities is the inhospitable treatment of resident aliens and sojourners at its worst. Through the sexual humiliation of rape, linked with the wickedness of idolatry. So again, this is kind of just further cementing my point. Now let's get back to the vid. Right? Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't destroyed because men and women love to sleep with each other. Do you see the things that are happening in Sodom and Gomorrah? If I was God, I would strike that bitch down too. But you get what I'm saying? Like, this narrative that a lot of Black parents push on their children because of this story right here, and then it's just a game of telephone. He said, she said, and then eventually it becomes being gay is bad. Being gay has been found in nature. Now, some people may say, oh, if two male dogs fuck, wouldn't that just mean that humans are just superior because we're smarter? Like, bro, you think because you fuck women that you're superior to gay people? Like, come on. that's neither here nor there. But it's found in nature. It happens, bro. Like, it's 2026. People have been gay for how long now? At this point, it's just a biological thing. Your hormones respond to what it's attracted to. If you're a straight man, if you look at a woman, your dick gets hard. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? If you're a gay man, you look at a man, same thing happens. That's just how your body works, man. I'm sure that there's a lot of gay people who can attest to this, but from what I've known, for the people that I've spoken to, a lot of gay people, they've tried, straight relationships without them even knowing that they were gay at the time, but their bodies just don't respond the way that straight people respond. Like, you may be cuddling with a girl or about to have sex with a girl and your dick just won't get hard. Maybe it happens one time. You can say it's anxiety, performance anxiety. You can get hard one time. Okay, cool. You try with another girl, it just doesn't happen. And then in your head, you're like, okay, maybe this isn't what I like. Because maybe you stumble across something when you're looking at porn. Oh, you see like a thumbnail, and then like your eyes are kind of drawn to it, and then now you know what you are. You get what I'm saying? A lot of gay people, they've gone through trials and tribulations of relationships to know what their sexual orientation is, just to find what their body responds to. Saying that being gay or being homosexual or just being queer in general is a choice. Like, your body is going to respond in the way it's supposed to. I'm pretty sure a gay man isn't just going to look at a woman, get their dick hard, and be like, oh yeah, I don't like that. No, like, they're attracted to what they're attracted to. Maybe they've been influenced by somebody, but I'm pretty sure even if they had an influence, they've already struggled with sexual relationships beforehand, right? Which kind of made them swing the pendulum. You get what I'm saying? Most straight men aren't just gonna be influenced by a gay man. It's just not gonna happen. Okay. Now this topic I really want to dive into. Everybody's suddenly becoming missionaries and preachers overnight. Buddy, the funny thing is, people see a man walk with a little pep in his step, and then they tell him to find God. Like, do you think that's what evangelism is? Do you know what the word evangelism even means? Let's Google it. Let's go. Evangelism is a proclamation of the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, with the goal of making disciples. This is what Christianity is about. Christianity is about evangelism, right? It's not about judgment. If you were really a Christian, you would know that you're not supposed to judge. The only person who can judge is Christ. That's the only man with flesh that can judge. Christ, Jesus Christ. And he didn't even judge when he was alive. You get what I'm saying? The fact that everybody thinks that they can just take that the values that they've been instilled by their parents, by their by the world that they grew up in, and think that every person has to live according to their customs, like, bro, there are nations based on that, and those are literally countries that are in refuge, bro. And there's a lot of countries in the Middle East where people literally escape and seek refuge because of the system. The system is based on a religion, and then people rebel, which causes warfare. And then boom, we have societies that are just collapsing because of the warfare because people are rebelling against the rules that were instilled through religion. We're lucky to be in the Western society where we have free thoughts and we have free will. You're not that different from your parents, bro. It's 2026. The fact that we're still having discussions about homosexuality and creative expression, it baffles me, bro. As you can see, like, I've broken so many barriers. Like, you see me and I'm telling you my story. I'm Ghanaian, bro. I got dreads, I got earrings, I got tattoos. Like, I've had to break barriers to get this shit. I have had to force my parents to understand that this is the way I want to express myself for me to get here. You feel me? Like, being gay isn't illegal. The fact that it was illegal is even baffling, bro. I'm pretty sure it was the Obama administration that made it legal in America in like 2007, I believe. In Canada, it's been even longer than that. I think it's like 04 or 03. But calling someone a demon for even being gay, you're not that different from your parents, bro. Like, you need to grow up with the world. The world is changing every day. The internet has only existed for 30 years. Can you imagine when Gen Z is in their 80s? Can you imagine what the world is going to look like? AI just came out, like, generative AI came out 4 years ago. The world is going to keep expanding and evolving. There's going to be so much more crazy shit that their brains are going to explode. You talk to a boomer about Tung Tung Sahur and that nigga's brain is exploding, bro. You get what I'm saying? Just imagine what we're going to have to deal with when we're 80 years old. So the fact that people aren't progressing with the world and are trying to have all these traditional values, bro, go live in Afghanistan, bro. That's the country for you, my guy. Because your freedom of expression, if you want to base it in religion, find a religion that you follow and find a country that all their values are instilled in that religion and see how much you enjoy it. That's all I'm saying. Because there are countries right now that are in warfare because of a religion that they follow. Last point. Creative suppression promotes mediocrity and a monolithic society. That's it. That's it, bro. If nobody was able to express themselves, do you know how boring the world would be, bro? Like, think about it. There are architects who create designs for buildings and schematics. If they had no creative bone in their body, do you think buildings would look any different from each other? You don't think that there would be styles and just different adaptations of things just because of, like, creative expression? Like, you got to realize how much creativity goes into everything in this world. Functionality is obviously going to play a huge role in everything that exists, right? Everything has to be functional. But to make something function and also not look weird, you need to be creative. You got to blend the two. That's why F1 is so cool for me. You have certain regulations and restrictions, but teams don't perform the same. You know why? Because they're able to be creative and they're able to do things that are outside of the box. So the fact that you are upset because someone else is different from you, you're going to be the same person whose child is going to, as you grow older and you have children of your own and your child starts asking you questions and wants to start expressing themselves in certain ways, you're going to be more closed-minded because of the foundation you're already setting from 2026. Just imagine the type of things that people are going to want to do in 2050. You get what I'm saying? There's so many different things that this world has for everybody. And you suppressing creativity now and expression now, just imagine how crazy the world is going to be in, not even just in 10, 15 years. So yeah, that's the video. If you guys want to rebuttal any of my takes, just leave them down in the comments. I appreciate you guys for sticking through. This is just a one-off video. I'm probably not gonna post another video on this channel. So yeah, like and comment. Just leave a comment, man. I just want to get you guys input. But yeah, I hope my video was insightful, and hopefully some perspectives have changed because, bro, again, it's 2026. Like, bro, grow up.